Okay, so I think you bet me I call because almost 7:30 I don't know time in your side nti obaso na wonya akwanya na platform bia wo so a de beto so bia no na ya share na ye call and issue a me person me de share say institutions of state ya kasa democracy anywhere the foundation you know ejina the kind of institution obetimi set it up na no abaye building blocks upon which the interface of democracy ni ebe hange. So the very moment that these institutions and honya den na individual discretions ebe tentino no, you should be assured say the kind of democracy obetimi apages ebe quite fragile and you be dictating at the behest of certain individuals who sees the opportunity to be in power. It is a nipaninya kwenya no bedi tumiya the tumisha inside. It is not about the institutional discretion, it is not about law, it is not about order, but it is about the sole discretion of that individual you put in poor position and the decisions that they take, whether citizens are comfortable with it, whether they make sense, whether are convenient for our progress or whatever, those considerations, it is about the paramount interest of said persons in power. And nuntina incumbent upon any country be or their turn on so by adopted democracy the number one priority in say was strengthen state institutions, ama institution, abeye adia ebedi kanyan ho baya den and so what me set up those institutions na ebe mo man na yeye ebinum akoye almost set it up if quite repressive and democratic institutions and ebinum so set those etimi eboa development and those countries there be offer countries like US and Mexico now the example border kakra bi na twa montem. But economically, you see, there is a vast difference because of the political choices. These two countries they make here, but adopt measures here, coming up with repressive economic incentive, and about console a foster growth and the difference is quite clear. So in our path to prosperity, clearly I say. Choices I will be making along the line, determine baby a ukwakuye. And into as people, ya jiatum said democracy and ye dear see a niswa. Then a duty a Sunday Mayan say institutions of state ye bit me strengthen ama ya ding na individual discretions in the obi dwen the obi kwada office and na ye no emebun kam ye so because e basa o man and is what the idea see this year per se ye go a hono ye nduru hoda because a men na buy ne na madwen ye me se we na ye enti ye mfa no kwan we so na nhihye na kwan ye da hono me mfa so a I will not be there forever. Another person will come and his views in a bit deviate sharply from their menso menam no na always na objectives no are divergent when am ha yen get it anywhere. And I think that is one of the reasons why we are still stuck at where we are. And that is common, your friend, and throughout Africa. Progress, yentimi, nim economically, stagnant at a place, over the years, you put premium on individuals, or more power, instead of putting premium on institutions and strengthening them. Ofa Ghana CCIA now play institutions here CCIA. The executive and panifo no the judiciary and the legislature and parliament ye be quantum so be there are a lot of people with a lot of reservations so far as the conduct of business within the house is concerned, the conduct of certain individuals in the house is concerned, and kwanya ya faswa sabi virtually ya politicize everything. So the ordinary Ghanaian sitting on the sidelines hardly and obetimi lend any your friend is saying confidence to the institutions to the idea I have parliament that will serve my interest. That doubt still linger on the minds of a lot of people out there. Then the executives, while winning some of the decisions, some of the even the economic atrocities say a bomb mind way from as we speak, Dodoana emanating from the executive. Because we the economic position of Ghana, maybe a genesis in the League of Nations. S&P, your friend saying Moody's, all the rating agencies in India, credit your friends downgrading no more downgrading, is because of some executive decisions that you're taking over the years and foster growth for us economically. So the executive at this point, it's not something I mean you bet me a level up to the billion. Niema bebre akobone economy nam gatam said yes nam gatam CCI, all because of certain saying discretion at certain individuals be because of power or more exercise and more mind agent has say. But my culture says institutions of state in Yina form a better baha, not the judiciary. Not the judiciary. But for quite some time now, we've driven ourselves to an era where public trust and confidence in the institution are responsible for dispensing justice in this country. People have a lot of doubt because of some major decisions at free court and the perceived partisan activism for free say a war inside the judiciary. For reservations, for concerns, and then no Yeboah democracy NCP. So the good question beside want to say, what is the way forward? The way forward is fortunately for us and a new Chief Justice. For can bebre, but me asema meka kire no baako say oba. We want to see a certain course or sanitize the judicial space because public trust in the institution are responsible for justice delivery in this country. And trust is low, confidence is low, and we expect her sabana or bano sabi infuse certain hope, certain trust and confidence. A bit me the public I lend some credence to the institution and that trust abba. Because an institution where dispensing justice, it is never about sitting at the court and dispensing justice, but it's about that justice dispensary, a bit me foster national integration and cohesion. Not justice will deliver break the back of society, a bit me up deepen the bond we hold. And trust is key. Public confidence is key. Ubedru baby those things, you're near my Ghana ni tu ni na onhu. And they are not making these claims. These are not vain claims. These are not claims about abstraction. No. To a certain extent, you see some of the things because quite some time now, some of the decisions are emanating from even the apex court of the land. Sometimes or get it out there now, sample public opinion. Clearly, the indication that you get in say those who really know were devoid of logic, reasoning, and common sense. And if that is the reaction, the kind of opinion public, it been more about rulings coming from even the apex court. Clearly, a choice trust and yadia departed a subscribe to, and on my be at the bottom. It started from when people lose confidence in the institution are responsible for your friend saying justice delivery. We can toy with every single institution in Ghana, but not the judiciary. So my men are banana said yet Nimia no besin koy no dear Sabi ne pencil near mankoye. And from where I stand, I think that is the point. Ghana judiciary are attaining the lowest score from where I stand, because that is where you had the bastardization, the criticisms, and some of the harsh attacks on some of the rulings coming from the Supreme Court. Because even the rhetorics of some judges, Abra Mote Asemani Kwana, give you certain create certain doubt Semna or Mode Babontino, or hold it on in terms of trust and ye. So now she has a duty, Sawabano, in your man kwaba, but she has a duty. Say umbra number sanitize it, broken trust and confidence in a public in the no. Na a man for kwanya ye fast or ye some appointment into the high court and as a form some individuals are perceived are known partisan activists are ye more sabi yasasas or more a man for concerns, whether they think say some of these concerns are legitimate or not, that is not the issue. But how are you able to deep in public trust and confidence, and that is key. So even so, be making allegations that this person belonged to a party A, B, no, cry, in order to engender public confidence and trust, ye no mistake by taking time to explain certain things for the ordinary Ghanaian to understand. Because my culture say, in an enterprise of justice delivery, it is never about you sitting at the court and dispensing justice. It is never about that. But it is about in dispensing justice, that justice delivery will go to the extent of deepen ties and bond. A bit me hold you together. The woman ruling, that's a ruling the ball maya. One kasawe your man boy for. That is what we need to have at the back of our mind. So it is not just about sitting at the court and dispensing justice. That justice must carry the nation along. That is the most important thing. And to achieve that, trust and confidence. So spending the whole year to repair that broken trust and confidence in the judiciary. Some of the rulings are called, and now you renew the sense of urgency and some tiny things. Yes, through the vetting, I mean, who said one of the your friends saying committee members and the bisa question na manager pa, because sometimes the court will bring out a ruling and they expect the consequential orders of the court to be carried out. For instance, typical example, the Judicial case, the Supreme Court gave out the ruling and the consequential orders of the court were supposed to be carried out within a period. I mean, who said the Electoral Commissioner, Attorney General, as I said, a truck or Parliament. But key, Adebakwana MX then was the ruling being made available to the person. Sabi obit be ready. Now one make it decision as to whether says subsequently no, or be fight it and also be accept it. In the absence of the ruling, and I call for my obia ajiatum and a shiensi in the future. We cannot predict what will happen because obi oho na asem no ditiano na one man consequence, especially cases that bear high political stakes like this. No ruling the babonten na one ma nipa no access to the ruling amana nkan amana make informed decision, and you want the consequential orders of the court to be carried out, and then a peace in the future. Those things can be a recipe for disaster. And going forward now, things that we need to be very reasonable. My culture say it is not about just dispensing justice. It is about in dispensing justice and being reasonable, and you have to be very sensitive to prevailing circumstances in the and the stakes in are quite high. One of such example, a Domilivo case here court. We know say then the stakes were quite high, and civil society organization or more the case in the court well expecting say court bet me expedite effort to ensure say you bet me a settle issue not that period na Domilivo ne case ne ten anonya expire so Supreme Court no ruling manner in 10 term because of the urgency of the situation by ya twen ya money di almost bear 3 years achi so 1 year or 2 years achi and son ruling no babonten that time no na the 10 and I aspire. So coming back and an option. But we've seen an instance as a case court within seconds na ruling aba. Typical example, Judicial in criminal case here, because we are not about on the 27th or so. Court on a date 3 days time. Yet may expedite a case in a course on 10. Then it means cases here bear such crucial critical national interest among for brewo interest woman the stakes in here quite high. We can do same for such cases. Sebaya young concofa homobian fansha yakon, because you may sit at the court where you are wear your apron, whatever, and think that you are more knowledgeable and more intelligent than Obia or Ghana. But you should know that there are people who are also watching from afar, and the trust that they subscribe to their own, the confidence that they lend to their own, and a boa. The enterprise of justice delivery no yet me uphold it, because a free part not a public no maka say policy bia is the development is as good as its implementation. Sana justice it delivery no is as good at public na upholding it. What the banner man for see gentleman I then obey. Come a catch say in any democratic sector bia no paramount, what is key is the interest of the people. And Rana may not be have a conversation be about constitution being paramount, and as a nipa your mind paramount. I am telling you, say constitution importance can never outweigh. For instance, yate Ghana CIA. Yenim se auto aba president be stand for elections 1 2 ontimi nkobiem 8 years. That is what the constitution are put to ceiling and finality to that. And so far as the constitution is concerned, ontimi nyahwe mfa ho. Ade se bia wo kwa akoye ye friend saying referendum then as a forum to break that particular thing. But Ghana for ye wo mind mu da sorry. One day near Soraka said no, sir 8 years no. Yet constitution or more my yempe 8 years in Ibiam Yapasi a cut 12 years. Ghana phone in one voice. And I'm say your voice. Nedia yepe switching constitution until that particular demand can outweigh the constitution. So that will call for immediate constitutional review. Na yasasa. Sanity. Constitution is supreme, but I am more supreme than anything, because it is the discretion of the majority of the people in the country, and they dictate the pace of what the constitution ought to be. Go back to the United States of America 50 years ago. Now how dare you go there and say abortion legal? How dare you? You can't, because the prevailing political, social, religious environment there forbid anybody to support abortion. Conservatives can say it is not even abortion, it is about killing babies. Now so one away Republic your friends a Libra MP. Now crowd you so parliament and I'll wait me catch and so support killing the babies. So that was the atmosphere. But going forward, medical research, now some revelations by say there is a genuine groundswell as abortion legitimate, because some of development they had no other option than to go back and change the constitution, because the constitution must always suit prevailing socio-economic whatever circumstances that the people are going through at that time. So that is when the Roy and Wade came in, and 50 years abortion now illegal in legal in the United States. Another 50 years after, conservatives know who say Supreme Court where judges no more no anya hwe almost 6 cost 7 conservatives this is the time for them to turn the tide. And what they call philosophically most of them or more orientation is against abortion and as for so me ankasa kra metena be because sa case no Supreme Court they will turn it, lo and behold you turn it. So it is the prevailing circumstances and they determine you're finally saying the relevance and the importance of constitution at any point in time. Sanity or baby enti what in China among for criticize among for can asem about the judiciary among for now free say sebi nyansa anima na which means one kasa no you don't even understand democracy na kasa won tiase now won tiase. That is part because a bois for us to yentimi shaping institutions. Na atimi aboyen ama nema akoye obi say no voice. I'm not sure say no sound. How no sound? No sound. Oh, okay. I don't know why sound normal, but it's obvious. So my feedback says sound normal no catch me beam because metewaha. Yes, I think the sound no o check it Jeffrey check it with the sound no back. So I said make kind of say the nipa ka because at the end of the day nipa no more mind ne didn't some court. And this nipa na tenase who say I said way me de kwa at the papa be am free mumma. Na court no there's no motie. Say won free ha okwa yem wow. When that perception linger on na feed na amanfo eto amanfo tima, then the institution of justice your friends and delivery no obsolete because people will no longer subscribe to it. People will not find it useful, but people resort to other means of getting justice when indeed we have institutions that institutional I say eno and it me boyen am yetimi your friends say emamra ya shambra mu kan krum ha saying. So I am calling on the new Chief Justice and ninu ya na oba ye ne de ne pen so de Judiciary nanimu nyam sabi e conform ana nipa bebre enu emfa nimonyam emma Judiciary no, and I think this ono ankasa kotena dem na odwene ho or review na era no otena hwehwem na odwene ne era no ho a ono abehu sabi ne reputation was in the tatters. And I think so no ankasa timi yes ade na tenase na oye da sober reflection na tenase na odwene ho ya obehu se he emra na obedi Chief Justice no sabi enema bebre ankoye. But where the affair na waba a lot of things are created at that. Trust in all low. Amount for confidence I subscribe to the institution of justice delivery no very poor. Wo and I should na beto so issues no bad. You how I ever go about it. Sebaya in dispensing justice and that will go in tandem with sustaining public trust and confidence because the two must always go together. You can't be dispensing justice and public confidence is dripping. You are not making any headway. That is not justice. Yes, you cannot dispense justice and respect omainum obia because your politics ye a kotia NDC ombeye de or chena kotia MPP ombeye de. But there are people beyond the politics, you know. They just want to find reason. They just want to find certain element of logic and reasoning in the judgment that are coming from court. And other way, what's in China, you understand it. Beyond the NDC, MPP political noise now, yet you know, beyond that, and I don't think that everybody and the swimming in that pool of political back and forth. And there are people who are living beyond those partisan, your friends saying, your friends saying, recriminations now also within the judiciary. You know, there are people who are above it, and they are looking. Quite recently, me say one of the former justice of the Supreme Court, make some concerns. And one person he's worried about the trend that the judiciary echo. This is a former justice of the court too. So the public, you know, expressing concern. That particular concern must be adhered to and treated with respect, utmost respect. Because my character say justice in yen dispensing with and I yen dispense man koko, and I yen dispense ma muatia, a yen nipa, and I would dispense my. So in justice, in dispensing that, you know, there must be some coherence. Some spatial coherence. Nipa no shema sebi, and I don't need to go to law school to be able to make informed your friend saying decision be about obia ruling about one thing. A lot of the ruling over the years, you know, are subject to debate on various social media platforms, and we've seen the justices of the Supreme Court being subjected to ridicule and mockery. They've been some are being subjected to public mortification. yes romo ye de binom ye TikTok we ni na se for no ni nyina emma the kind of trust and confidence ye person ye gender in our judiciary, no, you can't achieve that. So it is our duty ye nyina said ye be ya ye betimi aye ama ye judicial na dimu na enkoye se aban bi na akosesa ne nkrofo de omo aba be shem na ya ye binum hatchet man a omo no the fence saying they are like operating like mercenaries. Allegiance is to the puppet master no the mbaye no, and what the assembly now free this quarters away then you be and there is you and see a creative impression be say some individuals can maneuver the court to do their bidding. No, the court must be seen as robust, independent, unbiased, and very independent in its dealings, so the public can subscribe trust, the public can lend trust, and no any bit me boying among mine no etimi gina na nine so. So on that particular score, no, I think that's cool. So yeah, shifted to another way. Question I know BBC me say your friend is saying special prosecutor say or fight corruption, and Argentina Ghana for nyina support wa yewo ese ye de ma no na yetime boa no man fight corruption no. I'm coming. Okay. Support wa ese ye de ma no na ye nyina ye boa no e man fight corruption no. About saying na ene uko various social media platforms are Ghanaians are divided. Ebinumu horono, ebinumu etwi the form because akofre professor from Pomboatin. Meti hai